OutcatsedOC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Happy Thursday / Friday morning. Sorry we're running a little bit late, but you know what they say, great things are worth waiting for. Today we are ranking every single WWE main roster pay-per-view, not PLE. I refuse to call them PLEs because it sounds stupid, of 2023. Okay, listen, that's just my little rant out of the way. Okay, right, but we've got some great pay-per-views this year. I was literally going through all the matches from like each show from this year, and I forgot how much like of a banger some of these pay-per-views were. Like some of these, like you had some gems on these pay-per-views that I completely forgot about, which goes to show you how many pay-per-views that we've had this year. I keep saying pay-per-views to drill it into all of your guys' heads.
I will always call it PLE.
Hell no.
I'm used to calling it PLE.
More like PPLE.
Funny.
I always say pay-per-view, and then I'm like, people might get annoyed that I'm not calling it PLE anymore.
I hate it. Premium live event. Oh, God.
I just want to say before we get started, I feel as though Triple H really this year decided to like actually start cooking. Like, obviously he took over halfway through last year, and he took over and inherited quite a lot of Vince McMahon's work, and I respect that, and he did what he did. He did what he could with it. But this year he was like, this is all me. And you can tell. You can tell in the product that it's all him. I mean, obviously, when we get to Survivor Series, you can literally see his handprints all over it. So.
You can see his fingerprints all over the start of the year. Like, you can see that there's still influence from people like Vince around, like, the first half of the year. But then after SummerSlam, it really kicks into, like, Triple H gear. And you can really tell, like, with some of the matches that are on
he was like, daddy time. And then just, like, went for it.
Right. Are we ready to see the tier list and the great tier rankings?
Love me a good tier list.
Hell yeah. I can read out the matches if you want to as well, because I've got them all for the Royal Rumble here.
Maybe just list off the matches and then we'll have a quick chat and then we'll rank it.
Yeah, for sure. So Royal Rumble 2023, obviously, funnily enough, we have two Royal Rumble matches, the men's and the women's. We have Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss, a match that I thought I had wiped from my mind. But unfortunately, it's still there. We've got Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in the Lights Out match sponsored by fucking Mountain Dew.
His last match in WWE.
Yeah, the last match Bray Wyatt ever had in WWE. And then we've got Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, a match that is not really remembered for what happened in the match, but what is more remembered for what happened after the match. The night that Sami Zayn grew a backbone and hit Roman Reigns in the back with that steel chair. One of the loudest pops of the year, baby.
Right. So let's show you where we can rank it. We have
obviously we had Rhea win and Cody win, which was great.
Yeah.
I don't think the predictability took away the victory from Cody. Like I thought that was still really good. It was obviously he was going to win, but like it was still a great Rumble.
Yeah, because didn't he come in at like number 30?
Yeah, he came in last year.
Yeah,
that was because obviously he was like still not fully injured, but like they definitely wanted to play it safe for sure.
Pretty much wanted him to win though, because he was all about the story like around that time anyway. And obviously coming back after a year, it was pretty obvious he was going to win. But like we had a great performance in that match from Gunther, like a highlight performance, like becoming the longest person ever in a Royal Rumble match.
And Rhea going first to last as well.
I think she was the first to do that as well. So
great final three, by the way. You had Liv, Asuka, and Rhea there in like the final three. That was really cool. Do you just explain the tier list ranking system here, guys? Just before we go into
S tier, best of the best, like one that will go down for a long time and everyone will talk about is the Sean Ross approved, because everyone talks about Sean Ross as your go-to guy of news reports. So we thought let's mix it up, make it Sean Ross approved. Just below that is banger after banger. It's a very solid pay-per-view, built right. A lot of cool things happen, like people retain or new belt changes, but it didn't be like a history-making one. Glorified house show is exactly how it sounds. It was kind of one of them shows that it seemed on the card like it'd be great, but it was booked like kind of how a house show would, but with a bigger camera budget. Could book better myself is us all as fantasy bookers. No, we could have took what this card leaded up to, and we definitely could have had some better outcomes. I know there's one in particular Reese will heavily go on about as someone else should have won in one of those matches.
I already know which one he's doing.
Meltzer 5-star, which is the worst it can be. Like, basically, no one wants to talk about it. It's because Dave Meltzer's star ratings, even though they're interesting, they usually are New Japan only, and they are biased. And also the fact no one cares for Meltzer's 5-star ratings. They like to argue about it being like Meltzer means nothing. So
yeah. Can I just quickly say on the whole Dave Meltzer thing, like I completely understand why he does it. I totally get it. But we also have to remember at the same time that it's like if you remove Dave Meltzer off the pedestal of what Dave Meltzer is to the wrestling industry, it's just a person's opinion. Like
Yeah.
And I mean wrestlers have come out and said that, you know, what we consider a 5-star match, he might not, and then what he might consider a 5-star match, we might not. So it's completely subjective.
Yeah.
I just think people get so wrapped up in the idea of, oh, Dave Meltzer's this, I need to believe it. It's gospel. You know what I mean? It's just like...
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I put it at the absolute lowest, because I'm someone who likes seeing Dave Meltzer's kind of records, especially with how long I've followed different companies, but it's his opinion versus everyone else's. And even then, when he does 5-star ones, I disagree with the 5-star at times. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, all I can say is he didn't rank Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21 as a 5-star. So that's all that needs to say about Dave Meltzer. Anyway, Royal Rumble 2023. I'm just gonna say my opinion on this. And I don't know if it's controversial, but this is just my opinion. The thing that keeps this out of the best for me is the matches that weren't the Rumble. You had Bianca versus Alexa, which was trash. I don't care what anyone says. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight, I thought was hot garbage.
It was average.
I thought it was hot garbage. I thought what happened after it, where fucking Uncle Howdy missed.
That
the
ruined
spot.
it.
That was stupid. I mean, I thought Bray Wyatt's new mask ruined it, to be honest with you, but that's by the by.
That, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, of course, yeah, 100%. Like, I thought LA Knight wearing neon looked kind of odd, but you know that's nothing to do with the match.
That was all to do with the sponsor, though.
Yeah, like I thought, like of all the matches that Mountain Dew going to sponsor, why is it Bray Wyatt's first match back? I thought Kevin Owens versus Roman was good, but it was nothing that we've not seen before from these two guys. It was mainly the moment that happened after the match.
That match was mostly built for that storyline at the end, which I mean, I'm not complaining about because it did set up something for later on down the line, which I'm sure we're going to get into.
All in all, the Royal Rumble matches probably made that show, which they always do because it's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they're the
I personally would put this in banger after banger.
Same.
Yeah, I think, as we say, those matches that aren't the Royal Rumble, for me, didn't feel that they were built up enough. That's not to say they didn't deserve their spot on the card. I'm just saying, obviously, you guys know there's a lot of hype going into Rumble matches. People are so excited about who could win. Possibilities of last three, possibilities of people returning. I just feel as though those last three matches on the card weren't really there for me. Obviously, I completely take the Sami Zayn turn out of it because that's like a moment. That's not a match. So I think for me, I can't put it in Sean Ross Act. It has to go.
If we are, I am willing to argue for Sean Ross. To be fair, like I mean, if we're ranking the pay-per-view as a show, as a spectacle, like I said, the two Rumbles are great. You had the Sami Zayn moment, which is probably the biggest pop of the year, save Survivor Series. And then the actual match itself wasn't bad. Like just because we've seen it before from Roman and KO, like it wasn't a bad match. So I'm willing to argue for Sean Ross. But like the other two matches keep it from best to the best, in my opinion.
So I was going to say you're the last one to decide.
Yeah. So for me, I'd argue Sean Ross approved, mainly for the moments that we had. You've got to remember Rhea being the longest reigning and literally has now been there, done everything. The only thing she has yet to do is win a Money in the Bank, and then she's done it all. She's successfully won in a chamber. She's completed all the belts. She's a Grand Slam, and you've got to know she's now I'm pretty sure she was the longest in the ring.
Yeah.
For a women's Royal Rumble, I'm pretty sure that was the case.
She was start to finish, so obviously there's no one else that's done that.
And we also had Gunther becoming the longest.
I was gonna say that we also had the return of Cody Rhodes being at number 30, but for me the standout was Gunther. Having Gunther be your longest reigning man in that ring.
So
I think,
what?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Like, obviously, we've got 2 for 2. Is anyone willing to argue to come up to Sean Ross, or is anyone willing to compromise?
Answer Ross. I feel as though if you put those optics in the conversation as well too about Gunther being IC champion, going the distance, Rhea Ripley going the distance, crazy returns like Michelle McCool, Booker T, all that kind of cool stuff. I'm willing to change my answer to that. I feel as though that's kind of brought that up for me. So not that it's a competition or anything. I feel as though we can have these conversations.
I feel like we've all got a good agreement there. I think that one, as we all said, I think it's difficult with Rumbles as a pay-per-view in general to rank it because, as we all said, the whole focus of that pay-per-view is a long-ass Rumble match. And there is going to always be one moment in that Rumble match that will appeal to someone and someone else will hate it. For me, having the whole Sasha Banks in, I'm pretty sure Sasha Banks was in this Royal Rumble, or it was...
No.
The year before.
This was the first one without her, yeah.
Yeah.
But in general, there's really cool spots in it. We had the year prior to that as well, where you had Mickie James and coming in with the Impact belt.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble is those Rumble moments, so it's hard to be yo, this is solid.
No, and I feel as though when it comes to Rumble as well too, I think one thing we're forgetting to mention is Rumble in the matches. A lot of the participants who eliminate somebody does set up a future storyline. Obviously, we saw Logan Paul eliminated Seth Rollins, and that set something up for WrestleMania. You know what I mean? It's a way of creating storyline that I think a lot of people actually forget.
In the men's Rumble, we had the Logan and Ricochet moment as well.
Yeah, the Logan and Ricochet moment that turned into
which then that happened at SummerSlam. So I mean,
I also had the Seth and Logan moment where Logan eliminated Seth.
I still don't get how we've not had a Cody versus Gunther storyline yet, because they are both on Raw, and
we will eventually.
Cody eliminated Gunther. I don't get how we have not had that feud yet.
Maybe if Cody becomes champion, we might see Gunther.
Then I'm fully down for Cody losing Gunther.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one. Elimination Chamber 2023.
Yes.
I think this is a 1-match card, not gonna lie to you.
Actually, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Apart from maybe the US title Elimination Chamber match. So, but the reason why I'm saying this is because I'll read the card out for you guys. We've got the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match. We have got the Women's Chamber match, which I don't remember anything from. We have got
that's the one. That's it.
Yeah, that's literally. I can't remember anything else. We have got Brock versus Bobby Lashley. That was terrible. We got Sammy versus Roman, which was dope, and we have got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus the Judgment Day.
Wow.
It was Finn and Rhea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love that first Finn and Rhea. I thought that was a great
it was a good match.
I thought it was a lot of fun, and just seeing Edge and Beth get to be that cool power couple again was awesome.
I thought it was tarnished. I really thought Judgment Day should have won. Let's be honest. Judgment Day got spanked by Edge.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think that's the first time that Edge and somebody from the Judgment Day have gone up against each other, and he's always come out the victor.
And trust me, Cole, it wasn't the last time either. We'll get to WrestleMania.
I know, that's what I'm holding my anger in for.
Don't get me wrong. I agree that Judgment Day should have won, but the match in general, for me, heavily entertained me, especially for a card that felt really dragged out, because I'm sorry, it was so difficult to go after that men's US Chamber match. Those spots were incredible. Having the Gargano and Seth at the top, it was so good.
Yeah. I think that's probably one of the better Elimination Chamber matches we've seen come out of the men in a long time. Confidently can say that.
I would say I wouldn't put it in banger. I don't think it deserves that.
I would say glorified house show. Because
because you got Roman versus Sammy, which was iconic, like one of the best, best fan reactions of the year.
That was huge.
It also truly proved that Sami Zayn does deserve to be in the main event.
100%. One of the biggest things about the show was Bobby versus Brock, dude. Like that was the stupidest ending I've ever seen. Like they built that up so much, and then
Yeah.
like for Bobby versus
Was
Brock.
that the
Brock
shoulder
3.
injury? Was that the shoulder injury one?
Yeah.
It was the reason why
Oh,
it
yeah, that
stopped.
was
But, like, it was the reason why it went
dreadful.
so short. But it was
Yeah.
it ended because Bobby got nutted by Brock Lesnar. It was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Like it was so stupid. Like
I
it,
still don't understand what the WWE's fascination is with putting Brock and Bobby together. Like, I just don't.
Two powerhouses. That's basically how they wanted to explain
Can
it.
you
Two
stop
people
doing
who have
what?
both had martial arts backgrounds because Bobby used to be a mixed martial art fighter as well.
Yeah.
if you let them go, it'd be a great match. But they always seem to balls it up. I don't know how, but they do.
Yeah, they always put like weird stipulations or
Like-
this is how the match has to end.
Oh, wait.
And for me personally, this kind of was one of the times where Bobby Lashley should have won against Brock because Brock was in his babyface era, and it would have made so much more sense for Bobby Lashley to be like, well, I've now beat the beast. I'm the new beast on the block. Come and fight me.
Yeah, for real. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think glorified house show is where I'd put it. Obviously, Sammy, the main eventing was fantastic. His performance was fantastic. The mixed tag match I really enjoyed. As you said, women's match. To be honest, I can't really remember anything that
I
happened.
don't remember anything from that
I
match.
And
literally
that's
can't
not.
remember
And that's
anything.
not a. I remember Carmella and Asuka being the last two. And like,
Yeah.
I'm no disrespect to the women, but it's like that's how we can't rank these things higher, is if we can't remember stuff. Like Montez Ford's spot in the Elimination Chamber match is one that I will remember because it was so crazy. And that's one of those things where it's like people will reference
Yes,
that.
so
Like you say, men's Elimination Chamber match 2023, Montez Ford comes to your mind.
Yeah. I was
And
going
that's
to say,
what you want.
Montez doing the whole thing, doing the whole like 1-on-5 moment where he just like felt like he had the craziest hot tag of the year and just slammed into everyone. Went, nah, I ain't going out. The only
Literally.
thing that ruined that for me was that Logan Paul running in as the Elimination Chamber.
But that was also to further up WrestleMania. So
yeah.
that
I know
was
it led to
yeah.
WrestleMania, but it just wrecked it. It didn't need to happen that way.
I get that.
Speaking of WrestleMania, we've got WrestleMania Night 1, and this is a pretty beefy card.
Did
so
we
I'm gonna
put
read it
them
out
on
to
as
you.
1 and 2, or did we put it on?
No,
Yeah.
it's going to be it's ranking WrestleMania as a whole.
Oh, get wrecked!
You want me to?
No!
What? Oh, come on! It's two different nights. God damn it! Come on.
Why?
Right, that's the
Why
point.
can't I talk about main event 4 of a buy one get one free
Because-
premium live?
We
No,
need to
man.
because night 1 was so much better than night 2.
No,
That's
this
the
is
thing,
exactly
yeah.
the point. Right. So night 1 amplifies it so good, but this is my point. Night 2 was a disaster, which instantly drops the reputation of night 1 because
That's
you had
true.
such a high that you go literally the next night and you went, let's sour everything we have just done.
It was dreadful. Dreadful. Like
No,
night 1 was perfect in my
I'm looking
opinion.
at it now.
Well, I'm
No,
really
dude,
matches
but
up.
you can't justify night 2. Don't even try and start justifying.
Don't, as a
night
Roman fan, don't justify it. It's
No,
not
but-
worth it. He
no.
sucks anyway.
I think that's
Just
the best
because
match.
you're happy that Cody Rhodes lost and Roman Reigns retained, that's perfectly fine. You can have that because we got cool storylines going into
Between-
it.
Ross, did you not find out that
think- I
Reese is
think we're at,
actually on Roman
I think
Reigns'
we're at a
payroll?
crossroads here, guys. We're at a true crossroads here. We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Right.
Well,
No,
you're on
hear
your
me
smoke
out.
on it,
Guys,
so
I'd just like to, while we're on the point of Roman Reigns, inform you that we have superstars that show up to 2, maybe 3 shows a week. Roman's appearing 3 times between now and Royal Rumble.
Good.
Imagine if I could show up that much to work.
Oh,
I would
just-
be
okay.
rejuvenated.
So just to amplify, let's stay on the point. Just to amplify how good night 1 was compared to night 2. Right,
Go
I'll
on,
read
then.
out the matches from night 1. Okay,
Go for
we've
it.
got Austin Theory versus John Cena.
Dreadful.
Then we've got the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Men's match, which turned out to be amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Really good.
That was
It
great.
really did turn out to be so good. We had Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins with a funny
Amazing.
KSI moment. That was really
Yeah.
funny. I thought that was great. We
Oh
got
yeah,
Damage-
that's the KSI got hit when he was in the prime bottle as well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We've got Damage Control versus Becky Lynch, Trish, and Lita.
Dreadful.
Middle of the road.
Ray versus Dom.
Good.
Oh, that's all
love
right.
it. Love that.
Yeah. Ray versus Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
I have very hot takes on that Rhea
Yeah,
versus Charlotte.
I wasn't. Charlotte kind of spoiled that a bit for me.
Charlotte
Technically-
sandbagged most
hang on.
of that match.
Technically, here we've got The Miz versus Pat McAfee.
Oh, yeah,
And
that-
Snoop Dogg. Or was that
And
night
Snoop-
2?
No,
Someone hit the
Snoop
people's
Dogg was
elbow.
night 2. And then finally in the main event, we've got the Usos versus KO and Sammy for the Undisputed Tag Team titles.
Good match.
Hmm.
Great match.
I really wish you had done this as a night 1 and night 2.
I know.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It's no, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. It's just it's honestly just a ranking. It's fine.
G gave me the posters, and I thought keep it as all
Don't
in one
blame
because
me.
this discussion. No, I decided to
I'm
keep
not
it
here
that
to
way.
make friends.
I'm here to make
Yeah.
money.
I'm here to make money.
I'm here to make content.
This was my point.
Original content too, guys. That we're not stealing from anybody.
Yeah, right.
But this was my point. I think it's justified to judge WrestleMania as a whole. I know everyone loved night 1 and night 2 was dreadful, but that's why we have to judge this fairly because technically
Alright.
it is all under one pay-per-view.
Glorified house show then.
I'll take that. I will take a glorified house
I
show.
think it's
Hang on.
Banga.
Shush. Let the host tell you about night 2, ladies and gentlemen. Show you how amazing night 2 was, okay?
In your dreams.
WrestleMania night 2. We have Almost versus Brock Lesnar. Wow.
Oh yeah, love that. So good.
Oh God, how amazing that was. 4-way women's match that I don't even remember who was in it. Wow, amazing.
It was terrible as well.
Probably the match of the night. We've got Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Gunther.
Match of the year.
That
for
was
me.
sick.
Yeah, it
So
was good.
sick. That was the
Oh,
best
match
match
of
of
the
the
year.
night.
Bianca versus Asuka in a surprising retention for Bianca. I thought it was very surprising.
It was
Yeah.
alright, I guess.
I genuinely thought Asuka was going to win that. I was a bit gutted. Bianca.
I reckon they
retained.
did that just because Bianca's got a streak now at Mania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. We have got Snoop Dogg versus The Miz. That's so good.
Yeah,
Wasn't that
No,
when Shane
I
McMahon blew his quad as well?
yeah. It was meant to be
Yeah.
Shane
Yeah.
McMahon, and then Shane blew his quad.
pretty
Oh,
much sums up how I feel about Shane McMahon, like as a whole.
Blew off his quad.
We have got Edge versus Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell,
Ugh.
when Finn Balor got injured like a minute in.
And you still should have made him win.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Demon.
This is what I mean when I say Edge spanked the Judgment Day
Right,
every
you know
single
what pissed
time.
me off,
Really?
though? Right, this is what annoyed me about it. You had Finn do the coup de grace while his head is still split open, bleeding out. That's where you could have finished. He coup de grace Edge, done. Instead, you're like, no, Edge kicks out, let's spear Finn,
I
which
totally
makes his
agree.
head whip back, and it does more damage.
That
But-
was actually probably my least favorite match, just purely because of the actual outcome and what happened. You could have made that so much better.
As G was saying,
Practice
go on, G.
I can't find my Pepsi and it's really annoying me.
Ask Pepsi Phil.
Funny.
I found it. Okay. Right. Anyway.
Hold on. G was trying to make a
Oh,
point.
sorry, G.
Thought.
Sorry. Go
Oh,
on.
I don't know, but there was a lot of rumors going around that Finn was supposedly supposed to win that match, but I feel like that was their way of burying the demon for good, so that people could shut up and not bring him back.
But,
Yeah, but that's not the
Shut
point.
up.
The demon always got buried. Like,
But Finn also said he doesn't like playing the demon character anymore, so
I mean, he has to sit in like makeup for 8 hours to get it done.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. That's insane.
And-
that he has to do that.
if it was in Japan, it'd be a lot quicker because Japan only took him 3 hours to do it.
Yep.
all right.
Pathetic.
Anyway, glorified
And then in the
house.
main event, match
Yeah,
of the
I
year,
agree.
Roman
Nobody
Reigns versus
cares.
Cody Rhodes.
Shut
Nobody
up,
cares.
Reese. You know
The best
fully
of it.
well that was a shit show.
I'm gonna.
Oh no, I disagree.
I want to argue banger for night one and the Drew versus Gunther versus Sheamus. Other than that, it's glorified.
Night 2 was so bad though.
That's
No,
what I'm saying.
the
I was-
Intercontinental
Night one-
Championship match was good.
Does it balance it out? If night 2 was bad and night 1 was good, can we go banger?
That's what I'm thinking because night one was so high and night two
And to be
still had
honest,
2 great matches.
good. The Sheamus Drew was definitely match of the year.
And then you've got and you had the great match of Roman and Cody. Like that was entertaining. We all were there watching, waiting to see how that
I
was going to
think
go. So I
It was
feel
just, it
banger
was
after
just,
banger.
yeah. For me, it was just the outcomes of night 2 that
Yeah.
kind of soured it. Like the
And
matches
how you-
objectively,
I'm sorry. Any pay-per-view opening with Omos versus Brock is not going to put people's feet like bombs in seats. No
They
one
didn't fucking need to be on the card. Because Bobby Lashley didn't even get his moment. He won the goddamn Andre the Giant Battle Royale Memorial or whatever, like the day before. Couldn't you have just put him in a match instead?
Yeah. Couldn't you have
Like-
just swapped out Omos for Bobby Lashley? Because, MVP was like, sorry, I've got to make a business decision. And the business decision...
Unpopular opinion here, but why the fuck is Omos still in WWE? Like, I just don't get it. Why?
'Cause he's
What
an
does he do?
He's an attraction. Like like
Because
he's
he's a
big.
7
Yeah,
foot
attraction for
giant.
me to turn my TV off. What the fuck does he do? Like, it actually, no, it irritates me so much. And I'm going to have a rant for a second. That we've got so many people that, no, it's not funny, guys. It pisses me off because we've got so many people that actually deserve to be on the card, sitting in catering, waiting for their fucking moment. And then we just have Omos come out here and he just can't even do shit. Like, it's not funny. I'm being dead serious. Why?
No, I agree. It's just, I can't not laugh when it's like, serious.
It's okay, Court. Court, it's okay. You work with children.
I am tired. I'm just, yeah.
No, I heavily agree. No, there is so
It just
much
aggravates me. Like, so many of these
No,
wrestlers
I agree,
dedicate
I
their
agree.
lives to the craft and they work towards this WrestleMania
Yeah.
moment, and you're just going to give it to a 7 foot, fucking 400-pound man who can't even do shit.
Yeah, but you
Best-
can't
best
teach
Sit on your
that.
couch at home, bro. Like, fuck.
Best example.
can't teach
How
that.
the fuck is Omos still there and Mustafa Ali got released when Mustafa
That's what I'm
Ali
trying
was
to
on his-
say.
Yeah, like
I get it.
I heavily agree where you're coming from. It's just how you went in rant mode just got me chuckling up.
So
I was like, oh.
where are we putting WrestleMania then?
I would say banger after banger for night.
Omos
It's a
can just go on
glorified
the
house show, but I'll concede
No,
if we're
okay.
not
If we're
wrong.
saying directly in the middle, I'll agree to disagree and have it directly in the middle.
Don't get me wrong. If I'm outvoted, I don't mind. Like he's like, I don't mind.
For me,
Cool,
it had
pretty much.
potential, but it just fell so many moments and outcomes for me that I just can't justify it being mega.
Okay.
Yeah. Glorified house.
Okay. Valid.
Okay,
Right.
And that's going to trigger a lot of people, but I mean, if you
Yeah.
think about it,
Now we go to the really cool one.
it's just my
Backlash.
opinion.
Hell yeah, we are gonna go to Backlash because this is a really good.
Really
goddamn
good.
show.
Really good.
Oh, shut up.
Do we need to say anything more? Do
Just
we
read
really
the
need-
matches. I know there's
It's
one
so
that I'm
good.
gonna
We
get
got
angry
Io versus Bianca.
about. Yep, great match.
Yeah, we got Almost versus Seth. Great match.
Put it in the bin.
We've got Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed for the United States Championship.
Perfect match.
We've got Zelina Vega versus Rhea
A
Ripley.
phenomenal match.
So
Yep.
good.
We've got
Mhm.
Bad
Yep,
Bunny
Zelina
versus
on the
Damian Priest.
Phenomenal match.
Okay.
Incredible.
Indeed. We've got
Yeah.
Bloodline versus Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle.
Phenomenal match.
I love that match. I thought it was
Yep.
sick.
And we got
Mhm.
Cody versus Brock, which was also pretty good.
Yeah,
It was
there you
good.
go.
I don't know what else to say about this. I really
Sean
don't know
Ross
what else to say about
I've
this
gotta
show,
say Sean
except
Ross
it was
approved.
probably one of the best shows of the year. It should go in as
Yeah.
Sean Ross approved.
I've got to say it's Sean Ross. Like honestly, that crowd popping for Bad Bunny, him coming
Mhm.
out with the new Jack style, with the trolley, with all the
It was
weapons.
in Puerto Rico, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. It was his hometown. Like, and Damien getting his flowers because it was in Puerto Rico for Damien. Selena getting her
Zelina.
flowers.
Yeah.
Having the
reaction from Bad
LWO.
Bunny though, like when his music first started and all he heard was "Bop, bop, bop, bop,
Oh,
bop."
no, I still got
Oh,
goosebumps
God.
hearing that crowd, man. You
Oh.
do not get pops like that.
Mm-mm.
No, you really don't. It was.
You
it
don't
was
pay
so
people to
good.
get those pops either.
And
They
can we
actually
also
just
talk
happen.
about how Bad Bunny, as a celebrity, was arguably one of the most safest wrestlers in those type of weapon matches?
Hell
Like, the
yeah.
dude proper
Yeah, I think
protected
that whole match in itself, and this is just my opinion here, and I'm happy for you guys to chime in and give me your thoughts on this. But I personally think that match really silenced a lot of haters when it comes to celebrities coming in for
Yeah.
wrestling. Same with Logan Paul at WrestleMania
agree.
and some other matches we're going to see further down. I feel as
Oh,
though
yeah.
celebrities within the wrestling industry have definitely had a really bad rep because a lot of them have been unnecessarily added and just don't do any good for the company. They don't want to learn. They don't actually want to do it. But Bad Bunny and Logan Paul have actually wanted to do it. They've loved it since they were kids. They've actually came in and said, no, I'm not going to give you a half-ass effort. I'm going to do my damnedest to do a great job. And as you can see, awesome match. Like,
Yeah.
It was one of the, if not the best celebrity performances in history. I thought
Yeah,
it was very
absolutely.
Bad
Like-
Bunny has been one of the best celebrities to take part in wrestling for quite a many years.
It's
Yeah,
because he
good
wants to be
Canadian
there. Like you
destroyer
can
as
tell he
well.
wants to be there.
Exactly.
He has a
Him and
really good
Logan, you can
Canadian
tell they want to be
destroyer,
there.
which I thought was sick.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't know what else to say about this.
I think
think we're all
the
in
easiest agreement for us. I think this is all we're going to say. Backlash was high up.
Dope.
And also, there's a little bit of bias. I got to watch it with like you, Reese. So that was really cool. Wow,
Hell yeah. I get to come around to yours. G made brownies. They were dope. So
Was that Backlash?
Yeah, that was Backlash. That was...
Was that Backlash?
Yeah.
We had brownies. That's all
actually, would you put it in best of the best, though?
Yeah, I would. Every match there had a purpose. Every match did what it needed to do. And it didn't matter about belt changes because it wasn't a belt change type pay-per-view. It was literally, people are still angry from what happened at Mania. Let's show what we can do. And like, as I said, the whole attraction there was Bad Bunny and Damien because they were like, right, you're going against this guy. You're going against the it guy right now, the leader of Judgment Day at the time.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's banger. It's top tier.
Right, okay, guys. I mean, seeing as we've agreed on that, we might as well move to the next pay-per-view of the year, Night of Champions.
Or I'm gonna just objectively say banger after banger.
Let's read out the matches for you. We have got AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins to crown the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion.
Do you know that theme song for this event is actually my top played song on Spotify? That's where the song Prize Fighter comes from. It comes from Night of Champions. And the reason I listen to it so much is because it gets me emotional. I'm like, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know it was from Night of Champions, the theme song.
It is.
That is really cool, actually. We got Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
We have got Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. Underrated match of the year, in my opinion. Rhea Ripley versus Natty. The less said about that, the better. Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the women's championship.
Again!
Cody versus Brock 2. And then finally, we have got Roman and Solo versus KO and Sammy for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, I think banger after banger. I definitely think the only thing that really soured it for me was Rhea Natty, but that wasn't Rhea's fault. Rhea just did what she does best, comes in, dominates. Mommy's always on top, you know?
In a way, that match ended exactly how it should have ended.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been Natty in there in the first place, but I mean, fuck, we'll leave our opinions on her for another day.
I'm going to have a very big hot take here that's going to shock everyone.
Stop it, don't you dare.
I didn't think Natty was that bad in that match. I actually thought she was... No.
He's been talking to Katie too much. Get rid of him.
No, that match, I just wanted to say, Rhea did what she did best, but Natty held up against Rhea. But Rhea is always in the conversation as the better one, and she was. So
there's no conversation. She just is the better one.
Yeah, she just is.
I thought
we're establishing banger after banger.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
What were you going to say?
That crowd was oddly silent for Rhea and Natty.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oddly silent. It was weird.
I think the only two that kind of really dragged me down was Natty Rhea, as we said, because that match, even though I enjoyed watching it, it didn't need to be Natty in the title picture. And this isn't to knock women's wrestling. You know me, I'm a big guy on women's wrestling and equality in wrestling, but Bianca Asuka didn't need to happen on this pay-per-view again. They literally just had a grip on, we don't know who to book Bianca against anymore. Who's a good option who knows that can go well in the ring and protect any wrestler we put her against? Oh, Asuka. Let's do 4 main pay-per-views with just Asuka Bianca and sprinkle someone else in. I hated it.
Oh, like it grossed me out the way Asuka went. She like spat in her hand and then rubbed it in her eyes. I thought, this is so weird.
I thought that was cool because that's playing into Asuka's finally unleashing her heel and her weirdness.
That was creative, like the raking of the eyes.
Oh no, it was. It was cool. I just thought it was gross.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Swerve and Hangman blood was gross, but I mean, that's fine.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, that was
phenomenal.
So where are we putting this? Are we putting it in banger?
I'd say banger.
I think it deserves to be in banger just for the Seth
But
and AJ.
just for
match,
Seth
to be honest.
AJ, I'd put it in banger after banger,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Well, don't get biased because like half of the Outcaster crew was actually there for this. We have got Money in the Bank, baby.
Ooh,
Sure,
that's
And I am
sorry.
biased because it was a phenomenal show. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Hell yeah. So just to go on, obviously we've got the 2 Money in the Bank matches. We have got Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Ronda and Shayna, the night that Shayna turned on Ronda.
Yeah.
Yep. We have got Gunther versus Riddle, a match I completely forgot about until I looked over what the card was.
But then the return of Drew McIntyre with that too.
Yeah.
That was when Drew McIntyre returned and like
Return of John Cena.
headbutted his face off.
Cena.
The return of John Cena. We have got Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio.
Which was so good. I
was
didn't
good.
expect much from that match, and it was a banger.
It had no right to be as good as it was.
It literally.
Yeah. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor Part 1.
So good.
Yeah.
And then finally
with Damien teasing the cash in and making the fracture of the Judgment Day already starting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fractures of.
And then finally, in my opinion, one of the matches of the year, the Bloodline versus the Usos.
Not only for the match,
Yeah.
but the actual storyline as well.
Roman.
Yeah,
This
Jay
one
Pin
thing,
Roman.
and UK crowd backing every moment. It's a god tier. Like, you can't not. Those
Can we have a
returns-
tier that's above Sean Ross App approved?
Legit.
That's where it needs to go.
Like,
I thoroughly enjoyed Money in the Bank this year.
Just
I thought it was
approved.
great.
It can be just G approved.
Just
All the men's, I think the ones that stood out for me this year at Money in the Bank this year was the men's Money in the Bank. I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah, because was it this one that KSI was there and he threw a prime bottle at Logan Paul?
No,
after
no,
he fell off
was
the ladder.
Oh no, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It
I think it was. Yeah.
Mm.
It was also the moment where like Logan really showed his chops in the wrestling industry for me. Like he took a bump, a really bad bump that looked like it actually injured him, and then he got back up and carried on. I was like, fair play to him.
Yeah, he silenced a lot of
because
critics as well too
Ricochet,
in that moment for sure.
Ricochet literally fixed the original bump that went wrong and did another spot where they went, fuck it, we're just going to go through the tables again anyway. And Logan was like, yep, cool, let's go.
Exactly. yeah, really. I thought it was really good.
Also, the women's one, can we not talk about the amazing thing Io did of like, oh, let me just cuff the two of you and just climb over you?
It was
Yeah.
great.
Very well done. Very
I
well done.
loved it. Yeah.
I
I mean, she's a genius of the sky, so.
Exactly. I
Amazing.
just loved it. And like, this is not even like biased because we were there and like just getting to
It is
talk about
biased
it.
because we were there.
A little bit. But as I said, UK crowd, the returns alone,
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler's turn and the potential of,
I think. Go on.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the potential of Shayna Baszler
I
now
think-
is returned.
I think Reese will agree with me on this, but it goes to God's here alone for the Hey Bailey chance.
Oh yes, I agree with that. 100%.
Yummy, mommy.
Right.
Can we have a yummy mammy tier? That'd be
I'm
dope.
glad we're putting it in the Sean Ross set.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to quickly focus on the fact that I mean, I know you don't like it when I talk about him, but this is one of the moments that I point to when I say like when people say Roman Reigns does nothing for the industry. Like,
Oh no, I agree on this. This was huge in the Roman bloodline story. This
dude,
was
I mean,
huge.
I'm very well aware that the bloodline is a little bit stagnant at the moment, but I point to moments like this where like you wouldn't have moments that get such a big reaction if the bloodline wasn't important and wasn't like essential to what's been going on for the past 3 years in the business. And for people to say that Roman hasn't produced any stars by himself, or he hasn't, like he's boring, he does nothing with the championship, I literally go, yeah, well, why did an entire arena erupt when Jey Uso finally pinned him after 3 years? It must mean something.
Yeah.
When he gets beaten.
Going full circle with Jay was the first to fight him to the one of the last of his family to pin him, and
First
also,
person to pin him since 2019, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah,
What
it's
I'd
insane.
also like to point out as well is in those moments you saw Roman knows how to play into the crowd now. Roman knows how to in-ring story tell. That the cracks of where the crowd was against him, and you just see him like, what? You're all hating on me? You want
Just
to
seething.
Yeah.
It was the fact. No, the best part was the fact that the crowd was chanting, "If you hate Roman, stand up," and Roman sat down.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
the best
It
part.
was so good.
It was
And then
so
we
good.
also had the if you hate Roman, take your shoe off.
I love the I love the way Roman always plays into the crowd, like like all like the
Yeah.
the cut together clips of like Roman talking to his like his opponents or shouting at the crowd, where he's like, "Oh, I'm putting him asleep. I've got like massive arms and I'm putting him asleep." Like, I just think he's so funny when he
Yeah.
talks to the
I
crowd.
do this all day.
There was one moment
do
that
that
I
all
saw, if we're talking about Roman clips, I don't know if you guys know BD on YouTube, like Brandon,
Yeah.
he does like, he was at Royal Rumble and he was like front of the stage area, like right next to the ring. And Roman came up to him and his friend was filming and like looked at Brandon and was like, "You should probably take a picture of this." And it was like just before he started beating down on KO. It was like, it's those kind of moments, as you say, that like
Yeah.
we kind of forget, but then when we're talking about Roman in the conversation, like he actually does a lot when he's there, even though it's not
little
as
things like that.
often.
Like people say he wrestles like dead slow in the ring and stuff like that, but it's like no, but it's psychology. Like it's good to watch him in the ring because he does funny things like that, or he just makes you hate him. It's like
strategic and methodical. Like everything is calculated and thought out to the T. It's not.
yes.
And I'm not coming up to back up Roman here. I'm just saying like that's a response that I give when people are like Roman Reigns is slow, like he doesn't wrestle as fast. Yeah, but maybe that's because you're used to the in-ring style of Ricochet, who's just always doing something.
Exactly.
Whereas,
Like
everybody's
guess who
different.
else is like
Roman is calculated. He's, as I said, he's methodical. He's very well thought out. That's his character.
Yeah.
He thinks of his next 3 moves before he makes one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there's never ever been anything wrong with slow and methodical. Randy Orton's been
No.
doing that for 20 years. And like he's
the
been great.
perfect staple of a slow methodical wrestler that wasn't in WWE is Switchblade. The whole reason he was champion for as long as he was and his Grand Slam for New Japan was because he broke away from everyone being these flashy high fly wrestlers like your Will Ospreays, everything like that, and your Kenny Omegas. He built himself on, I will slow you down, I will break you down, and I will show you how I can technically outdo everything you're going to do.
are we talking about my fellow Kiwi here?
Yes, your fellow Kiwi. He is
Switchblade, Mike.
he is, like, for me, like Roman style and Switchblade style are very close to the same. It kind of actually agitates me that people say Roman is like a 5-move wrestler because we've seen in these past few years, he is a lot more than just that. Like, I understand he does the Superman punch, he does the spear. We know that that's his signature moves. We get that. But look at the technicalness he's been doing lately. Look at the ring awareness he's been doing. The storytelling within that and slowing wrestlers down. Being like, no, you're in my territory. You don't get to do your fun. I'm doing it.
Agreed.
Guys.
Right, let's move on because obviously, like, I've had a little moment of talking about Roman, so like we can move on. Like I've had my fill. SummerSlam, baby. Right, let's read out the matches for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
We have got the Battle Royal, the one that LA Knight won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel was a pity win because of the Money in the Bank.
Pity win.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel like it was just there for him.
We have got part
nothing
3
for him except like, oh, we're gonna put you in.
He didn't get anything from it.
No, I didn't get nothing.
No.
We've got part 3 of Cody versus Brock.
This is the one where Brock shaked Cody's hand after.
Yeah.
Where Brock completely lost all his underwear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got
You can
Ricochet.
see Brock's drops, that's for sure.
Ricochet versus Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Banger.
Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey.
Oh.
Was that the I Quit one?
Yeah.
Kind of. It was like a weird MMA style match.
Yeah, it was MMA rules.
MMA rules match.
Yeah.
Had the potential to be great, and they absolutely dropped the ball on it.
Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Good match.
Yeah, not bad.
Could have been better. I think it under delivered for me. Not gonna lie.
I agree.
Seth versus Finn.
Sick. So sick.
Yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He should have won 100%. I agree with that. He should have won. The story literally told it like, you know, it's right there. Like the story is right there. Like 7 years on at the same pay-per-view.
Yeah.
For a
Same
champ.
ring gear as well.
Yeah, like Finn should have won.
Same gear, 7 years in the making. Finn literally had a better promo to state this tension he had in this feud, and you still kept it on Seth. And I
think it was funny because Finn tried to go in trying to psych out Seth, but doesn't actually realize that Seth Rollins is the master when it comes to trolling. It's like
this was the
assassin.
This was the like really annoying build-up where the crowd wouldn't shut up for that Finn promo.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And then they gave him a video package of the same promo basically a week after, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, Finn means business." And it was like, you would have known that if you shut him out.
Just listened.
Yeah, like that pissed me off. Just let him finish what he's saying. Stop doing the stupid. Like you've got all night to do the whoa. Like, can you just shut up for like 2 minutes?
And the watch chance as well too. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh god, that pissed me off.
Anyway.
We had the triple threat match: Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair versus
Io cashed in.
And then the big Io cash in, baby.
Hey guys, look again! Another pay-per-view where it's Asuka and Bianca. Stop it!
I know, right? And to make matters even better, let's throw Charlotte in there. Yay!
You were backing that decision in the predictions episode. You said never bet against the Queen.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Never bet against the Queen because there's been so many years. There's been so many years where Charlotte Flair has just. I'm Charlotte. I'm winning a championship now. Hello, and she's the champion. So I will never bet against Charlotte Flair. Like even if she loses 10 championship matches in a row, the next match I will still say Charlotte's going to win. Like And then the final match, we have got Roman versus Jay, a match that was 3 years in the making and had the wrong result. And this is where, for me, the Bloodline storyline started to fall off the rails a little bit because we've stalled. We've really stalled here now.
I'm gonna give a really big hot take with this.
Oh, you know what? You're just gonna give hot takes anyway. Just do it.
No. I argue that I want to put this in could book better myself.
I was gonna put like hot garbage or something.
I agree.
Oh, you're saying put it in a Meltzer?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate SummerSlam this year. I thought it was crap.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
The only good thing, right? So the Roman and Jay match was a phenomenal match with the wrong result, but the rest of it was garbage.
I thought that
I hate to agree. I really hate to agree, but like I don't think it can go in for me. I don't think it can go in anything above could book better myself.
So here's the thing,
right? It doesn't deserve glorified. It doesn't deserve banger. It doesn't deserve Sean Ross Sapp.
Okay, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso was a good match, okay? But not only was it the wrong result, the ending made no sense, dude. Like, it made no sense. Why did Jimmy, after turning on Roman and then beating Roman and Solo, go back to Roman? It made no sense, dude. I was like, what? What's going on? I you know me. I'm one of the biggest Bloodline advocates, like probably on TikTok everywhere.
Yeah.
I was scratching my head like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand what's going on. I was like, I'll stick around for the story. I'll give him a chance to sway me. But then I was sat on TikTok videos trying to explain this story to myself. Like, oh, he's done it because of this. He wants to be the head of the table. I was explaining it better than they were. Because he turned around and went, I did it because I love you. I didn't want you to turn out like I was like,
but that's exactly what you're doing right now.
You become Roman, yet you're becoming Roman now.
Yes, I was like, what are you talking about, dude? I just it made no sense for me. And
I think the only things I really enjoyed about SummerSlam was I think the main moment of Io's cash in. That's something I really enjoyed.
Io's cash in.
I think the Roman and Jay match and Io's cash in probably would push it to the could book better myself, but it definitely can't go higher than that.
No, I'd put it in could book better myself because we are arguing the fact of we could have booked it better. Look, as we said, there were good potential matches. We enjoyed the matches, but we didn't like the outcome. Like Finn and Seth. Finn should have won that one. We were talking about, obviously, the whole Bianca Oscar. Once again, they made another match and involved Charlotte.
Yeah.
Glad
I mean, Asuka just felt like that transitional champion, which wasn't the focal point of the story.
What many of us wanted.
No.
Don't get me wrong, Io pushing in. Saves that. Yeah.
We haven't even spoken about Logan Ricochet either.
Yeah. Wait, did I not talk?
Logan Ricochet was really good.
Do you know what made me? Do you know what? Could book better. I'd put it in could book better because I think Logan and Ricochet elevates it to that because that was a decent match.
Yeah. And then I think with Gunther and Drew, I think that was. I mean, that was a match that we were expecting to be good, but I think, and that's also because we had the expectation from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Maybe we held it too high in a regard, and then when it didn't meet our expectations, we were upset, but maybe didn't manage our expectations for that because everything's a little bit different.
My problem with it as well was you shoehorned it in as Drew's return in Money in the Bank to literally line him straight up to Gunther.
Yeah.
And you didn't really do like a back and forth feud in those, like in that month leading up to SummerSlam. You never really had them have promos against each other. You never really had them have feeler matches where it's like, oh, we're going to have 2 versus 2. Like you could have had easily, you know, Drew go and speak to someone. Having him with Matt Riddle as well, like Drew around Matt Riddle was just, it killed any vibe that Drew had.
Yeah.
Sinister character coming back against such a powerhouse like Gunther. So it just undercooked.
Right.
I'm glad that we're all on the same page for that. Okay. Right. Payback we have got now. And again, for me, like this is a show that like over delivered for like what we was expecting as in terms of like a B show. So I'm going to read the matches real quick. We have got Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch in a steel cage match.
So much better than all the other ones they were doing.
Yeah.
This women's steel cage match, I
This should have been SummerSlam. This should have been in SummerSlam, and it would have elevated SummerSlam.
Really? Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. LA Knight versus The Miz.
Loved it.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the US title. Decent match.
New US champ.
Didn't like that Ray won though. I didn't like that Ray won.
I did.
It was
I don't know. Judgment Day versus Sami and KO for the Undisputed Tag Team titles.
And they won!
Match of the night.
Match of the night.
Yeah.
We have got Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. And
I
then
actually
finally,
loved that match.
It was okay. It wasn't bad.
And then finally, we have got the stinker known as Seth versus Shinsuke Part 1.
Oh, yeah. I think...
Yeah, dreadful. Because they ran out of time, so they just did the quick, Shin, you look like you're knocked out. Seth puts his hand over you. That's a 1, 2, 3. What?
So dumb. Like he rolled him up and then he got up slower and then he stomped him. I was like, what? What's going on? No.
Yeah.
So dreadful. Yeah.
So here are my thoughts for me. Trish, Becky, A, should have been on SummerSlam, and B, best steel cage women's match of all time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Miz and Knight was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
I think Rhea and Raquel's match really suffered from us knowing the history of them in NXT and seeing that last women's standing match. I feel as though when you have matches with people that have been in NXT together or who have fought in the past and you bring it back up, it very much, I think, it doesn't mean to, but it ends up creating that standard in your mind of what you're expecting. And then when it doesn't meet it, we're upset as fans, but we can't help that because we've got past experience to see what they are capable of.
Yeah.
Judgment Day and KO Sami, thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great match.
Perfect.
I feel like I've missed one. Seth and Shinsuke, I agree with Reese. I feel as though that could have been a really good time to elevate Shinsuke's character and give him the title.
It's a reset. Like you repackaged Shin. You did these really cool new video vignettes of him. You gave him like these new anime like assassin like video package as he walked out.
Yeah,
and you still make him lose. Like
what? In a really daft way. Like it's supposed to be in a daft way, and he was like, "Whoopsie daisy, I've been stumped on." Like it's just like, oh god, I thought it was just so stupid. Like in no conversation does it make sense for me that Shinsuke lost this match. And I made my opinion very well known around Payback, and my point still stands now. I think Seth should have lost the title to Finn at SummerSlam and even before then at Money in the Bank. And I think it makes even less sense that he lost. That Seth beat Shinsuke Nakamura. I really have not been on board with Seth's title run, man. I don't know why.
I think a part of that for me, I feel as though like I get why they're trying to keep the title on him. You know, he's a reliable workhorse. He puts on good matches. He does really well.
Yeah.
And I also think it's because of the fact that since it's technically the first title and it's its own lineage, they feel as though they need to make that first title reign long, even if it doesn't mean quality, if that makes sense, because it's the first title of its kind. The lineage for that first title holder needs to be there. We're not going to remember the matches, but we're going to remember, oh, yeah, Seth Rollins was the first title holder. He held it for X amount of days, set that bar so that everyone can go and meet it. You know what I mean?
For me, I had this debate. It was quite a heated debate, to be honest, on a TikTok live a couple of days ago with somebody about this, right? And when the argument that he was making was that Seth Rollins needs to have the championship for a year because he's the first champion. I was like, no, that's not how it works. Like, you can have a long title run that's not good, but you can have a title run that is good that doesn't have to be very long. And for me, the same reason that people don't like Roman Reigns showing up every week is the same reason why I don't like Seth's title reign. I like seeing him with the championship, but I think him defending it every single week devalues it. I've always thought that about world champions. I don't think they should defend him on TV, or like make it very rare that they do. Make it a special occasion, because when you do that, it devalues the world championship, because that is the job of the mid-card titles. If you want to have a championship match on TV, save it for the pay-per-views. That's all I'm saying about the world championship.
I understand the whole point of having the world champion, obviously the championship belts, be special and defended in a special way and on the big pay-per-views. But when you have a champion that doesn't show up to shows, who has a bout that only defends at X amount of pay-per-views, and people start turning on them.
Yeah.
I think
they just did that because they wanted to give it credibility. Since it was a new title, people were already calling it the consolation prize. They're trying to do everything they can to make it not come across that way. And it doesn't feel like that anymore, because the fact that we've got a championship belt that is being defended more regularly than Roman's one means more to us wrestling fans than nothing. I get what you mean. I feel as though the World Heavyweight Championship may have fallen into a trap where it feels as that's now the workhorse championship, i.e. Intercontinental. The Intercontinental Championship doesn't get represented or defended on TV as much anymore.
No.
The IC title for me feels more important than the world title, and it should be the other way around. And I think that with Seth at the moment, like, it's not. I don't think it's his fault, but I think it's a case of, if you start giving title matches out to everyone, then it becomes less important. It's like, you get a title match and you get a title match.
He's doing it for Jay this week.
But that's elevating the talent then, though.
No, I don't agree.
Using the talent on the roster.
I think you have to work and have a great storyline to have a great championship feud with someone. And it goes back to the argument that just because XYZ has held the championship for so many days, it doesn't make it important. It's the stuff that you do in those days that make it important.
It's not the quantity, it's the quality.
Exactly. Yeah. Who's going to remember Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn for the world title a year from now? Nobody.
If it's a good match, I might.
It was a great match.
It
was a good match, but why did they have the match? Just because Sami asked?
I mean, Jay has got one this week. What kind of storyline have we had going into that?
Exactly. Like, if you're going to give the likes of a Sami Zayn, a Jey Uso, a championship match, it should be for a story. It should be for a reason. Like, give it a bit of time to marinate before they have the match.
I feel like they are setting up for Seth versus Drew, and the whole point of the Jey match is to piss Drew off. So
it is because he's going up against Sami this week.
Another thing I was going to add, while you guys were going on about that, look, I wanted you guys to make sure you had got all the points out. The other issue we have with Seth's title reign is we keep putting an end date on it because of that back injury. They should have never played into the fact he had a legitimate back injury, because all of us, as actual genuine wrestling fans who understand how injuries work, we want him to drop the belt so he can go and recover, so we get longevity. It's the whole reason why Randy was away for so long with his back situation. We don't want the same with Seth. I would rather Seth dropped the title to people who can hold it as well as Seth. And we know Finn was capable of doing that. Finn had one of the longest reigning NXT runs.
Yeah, I think
to Finn, fine.
I think going to your point about the back injury, I think a way that they really could have gone about it that wouldn't have created as much speculation and concern in the way that it has is Shinsuke just saying that he knows Seth's secret and not disclosing it, because that could have been a way for Shinsuke to work on something. And we're like, oh, he's working on his back. And then we realize that's the weakness instead of just coming out and saying it, because it's now created this idea of, like, as you say, it's created an expiry date in our minds of his title reign. And like, I don't want his title reign to feel as though it has an expiry date on it. I want to enjoy it for as long as it's going to last. But I think they've kind of done that on their own terms, and it's actually ended up maybe souring it for some people, because obviously people see other contenders come up like Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura, who've been built up so well to the point where they could genuinely dethrone Seth Rollins, but they don't want to pull the pin. And it baffles me, like, and it just annoys me a lot, because I've had a very similar back injury to what Seth Rollins has had, and I'm like, if I was out there wrestling 5 days a week, I wouldn't know how.
I don't get how he gets out of bed. Genuinely, I don't know how he gets out of bed with some. Like, I've had a back injury like that level as well, and it's freaking awful. It's so hard to move.
Where are we ranking this, though?
I've put glorified house show for now, like, bang in the middle. I think, once again, some of the match outcomes were a bit shy. Judgment Day winning up the card a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think banger after banger.
I think it's a very bottom-heavy show. The first couple of matches were great, and then the last couple of matches weren't. I thought Seth versus Shin ended rubbish.
Dreadful. That's why I put it in the middle, because that
Rhea versus Raquel, meh. Don't remember what happened. JD and versus KO and Sami. I thought the interferences were great, and it was handled really well. Ray versus Theory was a decent match for what it was. And Miz versus LA Knight, it served its purpose. Trish versus Becky, match of the night, probably one of the matches of the year. I'd put it in banger.
Okay.
I think banger too.
Okay. I'll agree. As I said, if I get more voted out, I'll happily agree and move it. That's fine.
I think it's less about being voted out and more about just talking about the specifics.
I mean, there's more matches on there that are good than bad. And I think that's what it comes down to sometimes. So next, guys, we have got Fastlane.
I don't actually remember Fastlane.
I remember Fastlane. Would you like me to read the matches out?
It's not the 5-star. It's so bad.
Please.
We have got JD versus Cody and Jay.
Where they won. Did Cody and Jay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sorry. I just had a message mind blank.
Do you feel him, sir?
They got LWO, that is Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and Carlito, the return of Carlito versus the team of the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley.
Street Profits should have won that.
I don't like that match.
Yeah. We got Io Sky versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair.
Again, Charlotte Flair women.
Yep, exactly. Just shoehorning Charlotte in for no reason. And then in the main event, we have got Jimmy and Solo versus LA Knight and John Cena. And then we got Seth versus Shin in the last man standing match.
Yeah.
Once again,
myself.
Now, I would put this as a glorified house show. I thought Payback was better than Fastlane.
Yeah.
I thought Cena and Knight versus Bloodline was all right.
It was good.
Yeah. JD versus Cody and Jay, match of the night, maybe. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeet.
LWO versus that match is mid crap.
Yeah.
I think for me, what really soured that is you'd worked really hard to build the new Street Profits up to only have them lose, and we had the exact same thing happen at Survivor Series with that third member. You know how like LWO was concerned that the third member for the tag match wasn't going to make it, and then like halfway through the match, Carlito showed up. The exact same thing they did with Randy.
Yeah, exactly. And then with Seth and Shin, for all the talk of him working on Seth's back,
He barely worked on his back.
I thought it was so dumb the way this match ended. How is the guy who has a healthy back the one who collapses on 9, and the guy who can't stand stands up? Like, I'm sorry, what? What is that?
It's confusing.
What kind of BS was that?
They also did the awful camera spot where you literally saw the padded mat when Seth fell down and hit what was meant to be the floor. You could see the elevated padded mat. They didn't sugarcoat hiding that.
Yeah.
It was like you should have done a cutaway, like the cameraman fell as Seth fell, like Seth caught him or something.
Knock the camera as well.
Yeah.
Or even if they fell and they just threw the camera to make it look like someone impacted the camera.
So what do you guys think it is? Like I said,
I'd agree. Glorified house show.
I would have could have booked better myself.
Same.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't mind putting it there. Like I say, I think Cody and Jay had a great match, and I think
they did have a great match, and it probably was one of the best matches of the night. But the rest of them kind of soured a bit for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I'll put it in could have booked better for real. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're starting to see, like, especially between SummerSlam, Fastlane, Payback, a lot of matches actually being really good, but just with terrible endings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair.
To quote Triple H, why is everyone looking at me? This booking thing isn't easy.
Didn't he say that as well?
Yeah, he did. He said that on the Raw
Press
anniversary
conference.
that they had.
Now, here we go. And I think we're going back to great pay-per-views here. We have Crown Jewel, and I'll read the matches here really quickly because I think this was a really strong card, to be fair, guys. We have Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the world title. We had the multi-woman match for the women's championship that Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Nia Jax.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was
really good. We had Solo versus Cena, which served its purpose.
Yeah.
It was decent. Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio.
Fantastic, phenomenal, incredible,
amazing.
And Logan getting his flowers, saving Ray.
Yeah, for real. Yes. 100%. We have Bianca Belair versus Io Sky with the return of Kairi Sane at the end.
Yes.
Yep. We have Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. Probably one of the low points of the card for me.
It kind of did for me there, yeah.
And then in the main event, we have Roman Reigns versus LA Knight for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Good match, wrong result.
LA Knight won and the rest didn't notice.
Good match, same result as usual. I'm the type of person who, like I say, I will defend Roman, but I'm also someone who will bend when there is logic. Like I do think he needs to win in matches in a different way now. It would be nice if you won it a little different. It'd be nice if you won it like clean for once. Like I mean, I don't think that would have done. I honestly don't think that would have done LA Knight any harm if they won that match clean. I'm not gonna. If it was a war,
I'd love to see a dirty pin sneaked in where he puts his feet on the rope and like has the additional weight to like hold down the person, and the ref doesn't notice his feet there because like the bloodline's blocking his like where he's lay his like feet. I think that'd be a good one.
I just want to see him win a match clean because I think
I'd like to see a clean win as well. Yeah.
No, hear me out. Like I mean, like just because not because it would change it up, just because I think that's one of the main people that people moan about, and I don't see it as like the biggest deal in the world when it comes to Roman, but that's one of people's biggest complaints, and I think to see him win a match by himself would do wonders for people, if that makes sense. Like just by himself. Because I think sometimes you don't always need to lose a match dirty because, like I say, I don't think it would have done LA Knight any harm whatsoever if he did come out of that match as a loser clean. If it would have been a war between two guys and then Roman Reigns like eked out the victory, everyone would have still been on LA Knight's side. It wouldn't have made people stop cheering for him.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And for me, this goes in Sean Ross approved. I really love this card. I thought the Seth and Drew match was fantastic. I thought the multi-women's match was amazing.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
I honestly think the lowest point of this match was the lowest point of this card was Cody versus Damien, mainly because the wrong person won the match.
And we've seen it happen over and over and over again.
Yeah,
it just felt like a match we've already seen on Monday Night Raw. And I get it. I know I'm slowly learning. Papa Santi always says, let it cook. I'm slowly gaining that philosophy when it comes to wrestling. But I mean, you got to hold your hands up and say, like, bro, we've already seen this.
I don't want to let
get that it leads to further storytelling. I get it. Like, how many times can you show me the same thing until I'm like, all right, I've seen enough.
It's like we get it. You try to get Cody to WrestleMania. What you're gonna bury people along the way. Like I can't be. I don't. I've already made it very clear my opinion on Cody Rhodes on this podcast. I don't give a shit about him. And
you've made it clear that the story doesn't need to be told with him and Roman anymore.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. You've got something on Raw that's even more riper, like a story to tell right there. For God's sake, he's the world champion. He's right there. But like the point is, like Damian Priest is like in his prime at the moment on Raw, like with the Judgment Day storyline. And I really do not see the need in Cody, Super Cody, booking Cody like goddamn John Cena 2009, like Cody. I don't see the need for him to beat Damian Priest. I don't see any situation in where that benefits anyone. Cody did not need to win that match. It doesn't benefit anyone. Cody winning that match doesn't even benefit Cody because no one cared. No one cared. But that's just me.
This is true.
I agree. I'm a massive Cody fan. Like I've been a Cody fan for years, and I've already said to G multiple times, I'm bored of Raw when it is consistently, here comes Cody Rhodes. What do we want to talk about? Who does Cody come and save now? Because he's got to be the babyface savior of everyone. It's like, no, dude. My favorite iteration of Cody was where he had a chip on his shoulder because anyone in NXT was referred to as Dusty's kids, where he is Dusty's goddamn actual son, and he made that very apparent. You have the perfect time to pull the trigger, make Cody Rhodes heel, and actually make him an egotistical person, being like, I'm Dusty Rhodes' his son, and I'll make it damn sure you know I'm better than any of the NXT fake Dusty kids. You dress him up like Homelander, for God's sake. Play him like Homelander.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I'm at the point where I was all for babyface Cody because I saw enough of it in AEW, but it's stale, it's boring. It's literally the whole expression of let it cook. It's like, yeah, I've cooked it. I've meal prepped it for 4 weeks in a row, and it is the same chicken and fucking rice.
The steak is over well done at this point.
This is it. Like how much do you cook it until like it's charcoal basically?
Yeah,
literally, it's like you can't cook it any more than it's been cooked. It's fucking gone through 6 different ovens, and it's come out burnt each time.
Anyway, where are we ranking Crown Jewel then?
I put banger after banger, but I'm willing to hear everyone else's.
I'd say Sean Ross, but I'd accept banger. I don't mind. What do you guys think?
Sean Ross.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Sean Ross as well.
I was debating because of the Damian Cody match, but I think the rest of the card being so much better, it outweighs it. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to just put it in Sean Ross for Kairi Sane, but I lowered it because, like, my bias sees.
But what about that? What about the pop that she got?
Shut up. Don't do that to me.
Oh, it was so loud.
It hurt me.
It was so loud. It was so loud. I think the speakers on my TV broke because I couldn't hear anything.
Right. Last one.
Last, but certainly.
And this one should be the freshest in our minds because it's just happened.
Last but certainly not least, guys, Survivor Series. So we have got Survivor Series War Games. Yeah, exactly.
War Games.
Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark.
Loved it.
Hell yeah.
Rhea looked incredible in the gear as well.
They did indeed. Speaking of looking incredible in his gear, Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Versus Santos Escobar.
Love that. So good that Dragon Lee got a pay. The only thing I didn't like about that is Carlito would have had a singles match. Like,
Yeah.
I was fine with it. I would
Why
have
did they just
rather
throw him away?
seen.
I get it. Like I get
would've
he
ra-
got that, but I feel like they took the thunder away from Carlito. But I'm happy Dragon Lee got it. Like
Yeah, I would have rather
conflicted.
Dragon Lee, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm not
because
gonna
it
lie.
now teases an alliance between the LWO and Dragon Lee. Who's
Yeah.
willing to step in and help out.
I think
Oh,
this match should have been
Dragon
given a bit longer. I'm not gonna lie. I think it should
Yeah.
have let it like simmer a little bit longer.
I was gonna say it did feel like it ended quick.
Mhm,
Yeah.
I agree. Gunther versus The Miz for the Intercontinental
That
Championship.
was
Great
actually pretty good.
And then we have got the 2 War Games match. We've got the women's one, Damage Control versus Becky, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, and Shotzi. And we got the men's
Team
one.
one.
We got the men's one of the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, baby.
Woo!
Hell yes, the return of the Viper, Randy Orton. And there was someone else. Who was the other person?
Pepsi Phil.
Oh no, not he wasn't in the match. No, the other guy on the oh, Seth Rollins. That's his goddamn name.
How you
Pepsi
just gonna
Phil.
forget Rollins like that?
Pepsi
I
Phil.
thought you said him and you were like, oh, and there was something else.
Oh no! I was naming the other babyface team. I couldn't remember the last person in it. That's why I said Randy Orton.
Wow.
Second to
Maybe
last.
that's
I was
my
like,
fault for not listening to you because you just, you know,
Oh,
always talking about Rollins.
Wow!
Guys,
Wow! That's
I
not
know,
nice.
I know you really want to talk about Randy and Pepsi Phil. But
And then-
can we not overshadow our truth return, please?
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh
Jay,
wait.
stop gatekeeping.
Our truth returned. Hot garbage.
Our truth is the best. You leave him alone.
Well, now my actual caption under my name makes sense because mine is about our truth freaking return.
Hey, Ruffles, man.
They're ruffles, man. They're not
Okay.
crisps. They're not chips. They're ruffles, man.
Right, let's get into it.
Fab,
Okay.
fab. Pay-per-view of the year. Best
I'd
one.
I'd put it into banger after banger, and I don't care why I'd do this. I
What?
think. Hear me out. Jesus
Oh.
Christ! Everyone getting daggers at me. I think
No,
both
we're just
the wrong
asking
teams
questions,
won.
bro.
I think both wrong teams won.
Oh, that's true.
No.
That's true. No, I agree
Damage
with that.
Control should have won. You don't build
Yes.
a whole new alliance.
I agree. I agree. Damage Control should have won, but Babyface is on.
No.
the men, 100%.
Because
No.
Judgment Day should have won
No.
because you've aligned Judgment
No.
Day perfectly.
No.
Let me at least explain. Don't just cut me off every time, gatekeeper. Jesus Christ. And you wonder why people say that, you know, you pick the wrong goose up because you do stuff like that where you just shout yeet all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel
as I was
I
getting to
shouldn't
my
be
point-
here.
as I was getting to my point, you don't build Judgment Day for these consistent months of Raw fighting win, loss, throwing it around like it's freaking table tennis game to then have, oh, just because Randy Orton's returned, and don't get me wrong, love Randy Orton, loved everything he did in that, the babyface team get to win. No, you make Judgment Day win, so then every single member of that babyface team has a solo feud between each member of those babyfaces because they lost to each of those members of the Judgment Day. You literally had that moment where you had Seth get coup de grace by Finn, you had freaking JD do a moonsault on Sami Zayn, and Dominic did a frog splash on Cody. There were feuds that you could have done solo matches with separately. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre could have been a feud.
Can I build on that point, by the way, as well?
Go for it.
I want to say something about the men's one. Again, why did Damien have to take the pin, dude? Like, what?
Literally.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
Oh,
they're trying to build
yeah.
on the whole Damien Priest is unhappy with the Judgment Day, and I'm like, it's like, but oh my god, can we just yeah,
And
why did
when
they have to
will
take the pin?
Damien finally cash in?
I thought that would have been interesting. That, like, coming from like a leadership point of view, he's the leader of the Judgment Day team, right? So Finn and Seth started that match. Why did he not have himself come in second for the Judgment Day and have a handicap match, cash in, win the world title, and then the War Games match carries on as it would have?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
This
Also,
is what
I'm just
I said.
saying, in my opinion, and I agree with what Ross said, I think they should have been brave and had Randy Orton RKO Jey Uso.
Yeah,
Hmm.
this is what I say. I don't get how we didn't have the babyface lose and then the babyfaces implode in each other, build a whole new set of feuds because they couldn't agree with each other. Because the perfect one you had sitting there the whole time, Cody was like, I only need you for one night, Seth. What if Seth went, oh, we lost, cool, I'm done. Stomp to Cody Rhodes. Seth's already turned heel because of him swearing at CM Punk.
There's something that really wound me up about the match as well. And the whole point of Drew being in that match was like, oh, I finally get to get my hands on Jey Uso. And it's like,
Barely touched him.
barely touched him. Even when he had him in the ring by himself on the other side of the ring, he barely touched
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
I was like, oh my God. I was like,
and for me, I think it would have been more established if the babyface team lost and then CM Punk's return comes out. I think that it would have been a huge statement because it's like, look, all our baby faces have been popped through the ringer. We have not got a hero that can support us, who is a voice of the people, that being CM Punk. You bring him out established as that is your new baby face that will destroy the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. Oh.
I'm down for that. I agree. I agree with Ross. I think
I loved all of it. Don't get me wrong. I loved being in that moment. I loved being engrossed into the fact that the potential of CM Punk's feud, the potential storylines that are going forward straight after this War Games. But for me, just as the creative booking mind I've got and storyline mind I've got, this was the perfect time for heels to win and baby faces get rebuilt into this crazy new situation.
You've got a situation here as well. Like, I mean, like I say, like I can let it go because I was caught up in the moment. Like, you know, the whole Randy thing, I thought it was dope. So I can let it go. But I agree with everything that Ross just said, and it means even more for the women's War Games match. I thought that was the stupidest decision ever that they lost. I could not believe that Damage Control got beat. Like, because what's the point? I thought you're supposed to be the new and improved Damage Control.
And I know their whole reasoning behind it is they're going to be like, oh, we're going to blame Bayley. But what you could have done is still had Damage Control win and just have Bayley look like the weak link because she got hit by everyone with all of their finishers. You could have had, in that moment, Io and Kyrie noticing it, jump to the top ropes. Io hits the elbow, which also hits Bayley. Io then does her freaking moonsault, gets the pin. I don't care on who, but she also accidentally clips Bayley in that moment as well, showing that Bayley's now frustrated because you were like, well, you guys hit me in War Games, and their argument will be, well, you were the weak link. You got hit by everyone. We had to do it to save you.
There is another way to kind of cook her as well. I was just thinking on that point. Like, maybe Bayley hits the Rose Plant for the final move, and then before Bayley can get to the pin, I don't know, Kyrie jumps in the way and takes the pin off her.
Exactly. Well, you could have had a moment where like everyone's kind of seeing that Bayley's not acting like she should, or like not participating as well as everybody else, and then a moment where like Io, Asuka, and Kyrie all kind of like talk in the corner away from Bayley, and they're like speaking in Japanese, and they're trying to like, how do we get her out, kind of thing.
It's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. Like, in regards to the other matches on the card, what do we think? Like I say, Dragon Lee, Santos,
all the rest were perfect. Like, I had no issues. Santos just made sense to win.
Yeah, for real. Okay. Right. So this is hard because banger after banger are Sean Ross approved, because
I think it was pay-per-view of the year, to be honest.
I'd still give it Sean Ross, even though I gave that massive rant about the other teams to the win, because it was the most entertaining pay-per-view of the year. Triple H really stood up and went, here you go.
For once, I personally, I don't know how you guys feel about this, I actually think the women's War Game match outshone the men's.
Oh, 100%.
I think this year's women's War Games match was definitely better than last year's. I really enjoyed it that much more.
Yeah, it was. I think the men's was more memorable because of the return, but like the women's as a whole was a better match. yeah, as a whole, the women's was a better match.
For me, the two massive standout parts of both War Games. The men's one was everyone doing the vintage Randy Orton over the rope DDT as a group. I thought that was incredible. And then women's, that moment of just Io pop lifting up Kyrie to do the elbow drop with all the chairs. I thought was sick. And obviously Bin Lid City, like she does it all the time.
Can we put that on a t-shirt?
What, Bin Lid City?
Bin Lid City?
Yeah, I'm down.
It's like Suplex City, but it's Bin Lid City.
I like that.
Or just Trash Bin City.
There you go, guys. There's our ranking.
New merch.
Yeah, that is our ranking right there.
I'm absolutely fine with that. And like I say, like we were talking about moments as well. Ironically enough, going all the way back to the Royal Rumble at the very start of this, you got to really think about moments, and Punk's and Randy's returns like really added to this show.
Yeah.
But that's the rankings. Like,
yeah,
I think we did a pretty good job on that.
Speaking of moments with CM Punk, did you know his Twitter video that they posted on the WWE Twitter? It gained like 1 million views in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's overall like 70 million plus now.
Yeah,
that's madness.
Even people that don't watch wrestling anymore that are my friends, like used to watch it. I messaging me about it, like because I do this kind of stuff.
Say, some of my work lot who aren't wrestling fans, they're more UFC or anything. They were like, "Oh, I saw CM Punk return." It was like, "Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's cool that he's back in wrestling."
Yeah, it's awesome. Any final thoughts on pay-per-views this year that we want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, UK had absolute bangers, not just including WWE. Like, I'm sorry, the fact we had Money in the Bank, Royal Quest 3, and All In at Wembley. UK pay-per-views are back on the map, and it's incredible to see UK getting it. Also massive, Courtney, you're finally getting a huge pay-per-view that's close to your ends. I feel like overseas pay-per-views are getting a lot more love, and I'm super happy to see that. I hope 2020.
This is the point. This is a point that somebody made to me the other day. How can you say you're a worldwide entertainment company when you don't go worldwide?
Have I not been saying that for almost a year since we've been saying this since day one?
I said this when the arguments about time differences were coming up, where people were upset about time differences, and I said, you can't have a name like WWE calling it a world wrestling entertainment and have world in the name and not actually explore the world, because you've got talent from around the world at your company who want to show their expression of how they love their home and where they had their beginnings.
Well, luckily, the future is looking really bright in 2024. We've got one in Perth, we've got one in Berlin, and we've got one in France, specifically I believe like Paris or like near enough.
And then you guys have got All In
it's
as
directly
well.
in Paris.
Yeah, dope. And then we have got All In again in Wembley, and then obviously like that's not even talking about. I'm assuming like Royal Quest is going to have another one next year.
I hope we don't.
And then you've got the 2 Saudi shows as well.
2 Saudi shows. We're going to be having Impact, like probably touring the world. Like
yes,
again,
Impact is doing their 2024 tour. They already announced that they will be back. TNA. Yeah, it won't be Impact anymore. It'll be back to TNA wrestling.
Back to TNA.
I love it.
I'm so excited for that. That's going to be crazy.
But yeah, guys, that has been the year of 2023. That has been all of your PLEs ranked by OutcassedOC. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Either way, let us know in the comments. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Speaking of content that we've been bringing out, we had an amazing review from Courtney come out this week on Monday Night Raw with the return of CM Punk and Randy Orton. You had me covering NXT yesterday. It was a pretty decent show. Go check that out if you want to. And stay tuned for Saturday, where we're going to be discussing SmackDown. And then Ross is going to be wrapping up the week of AEW. But that is all we have got for you guys today. Hope you have an amazing Thursday/Friday morning. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out.
Bye.